Hello and welcome to TarotVisions. Oh no, wait, I forgot to do this.
Oh, you look
I
gorgeous.
know, but I'm going to swing back because you guys, I don't want to stand up because it means, hi, this is TarotVisions Maureen. I'll be right with you. I'll be right with you. This thing here, it covers. Okay, you guys are really getting it. Now, if you ever want to broadcast, remember to make sure you have it together, like that part. I thought I did. Hello. I look gorgeous. Thank you, Julie. Hello, everybody. Welcome to TarotVisions. Maureen and Julie is working at my, and Julie's screening my calls and doing all that. She's screening them good, too. And everybody can see me okay. And hello. Hello, Doug. Hello, Julie. Hello, Reggie. Hello, guest. Well, I know it would probably be a guest that I know or you know, Julie. But
Hi, Barbara.
it's Barbara. Hi, Barbara. Hi. Okay. Tonight is my younger brothers, who I kind of have I don't want to be distasteful and say anything bad, but my youngest brother out of the six of the kids is 50 today. And my mother, my poor mother, and I think all mothers probably go through this if they have so many kids, but I don't think I will. But this is her baby, and her baby's 50. And I said to her, I said, you feel kind of weird about that? And she said, yeah, I really am. I can understand that because she's in her 80s and all her kids, because years apart. The youngest is like 12 or 13 years from the oldest. So happy birthday, Jimmy. I know you don't ever watch my shows, but so be it. My mom's listening. Mother, I've said it. I'm a nice girl. I'm being cordial. So happy birthday to my youngest brother. Um, this is my EP. It's going a little high. Well, I don't know why that is, but if I get a little out of sync, too bad. Uh, so, and I guess I could understand my mother's point of view, Julie. Because I guess out of all six kids, when the other one is out of the 40s and the 50s, that means all her kids are old, 50 and 60s.
True. My youngest turned 21, and I went, oh.
Well, I know, and I only have the one, so it won't be any big deal to me. But after all those, my mom's thinking, oh, I saw the kid in my foot for her. And I started thinking about, I related to what she was saying. So hi, Susan, how are you? So this is a live call-in show. I am drinking my yummy uh, coffee beverage, and I hope let me see if I can. I'm looking at my other screen to see what people are saying. Hi Barbara, hi Julie, yeah. Hi Susan, and Doug, how are you doing? Oh, I do want to say this, and I meant to put the banner up. When I did this, I don't know why whatever. When I did the event this evening, I noticed. I don't know, Doug, if this is something new, that I could. You notice I didn't have a banner up there. Julie, did you notice that? Anybody that went and said that?
Yes.
Okay, I suddenly now Facebook is doing this new thing. I couldn't added my banner.
Huh.
What up with that?
What is up with that?
No, I don't know. If Doug, he says I did not notice. But you didn't see my banner, because usually, you add the information, and I don't know. I thought, here we go, Facebook again. But
You're right. There's no.
yeah, do you see that? I couldn't. There wasn't
Yeah.
any way for me to put it up. Usually, say, add banner. Yeah. So I couldn't do that. So here's your banner.
Good old Facebook.
Good old Facebook, dude. But I know, Doug. Maybe I can find out. Maybe Doug has some insight later for me, because I know that if he can get one up. Oh, thanks. See, you added, but he added the banner to. That's what I want to get to. I wanted to let everybody know Thursday. As you know, next Thursday is our Thanksgiving, of giving of thanks. And as I know, we all know that I've told everybody, or people who don't know me, yeah, you saw you put, but no banner. But Doug was it. Anyway, we're doing on Thursday evening, Psychic Access Talk Radio. We are doing a giving of our thanks to everybody for coming almost. We're going into our fourth year. I think that's it, right? For Julie, fourth year.
Fourth year.
Yeah. We're going to be doing readings for anybody that would like just a full night. We're having the guest will be us giving and thanks to in celebration of Thanksgiving. We want to give all of our listener thanks. So please call in for a reading if you'd like to. And like I said, it will be the whole show will be about that readings. Or if people don't want to read, well, then I'll just do all the talking about this or that and heckle and general. Okay. Or maybe we can talk about giving thanks. But I don't know, Julie, if you're going to be coming. I know it's Thanksgiving for other people that, and you and I are in the same zone, but I know a lot of people from the East Coast will be back, but maybe not passed out yet by then. We're eating too much turkey.
I am planning on coming.
You planning on coming?
Yep.
Oh, you are. Bless your heart. Aren't you doing things? Oh, people do it early. I don't do holidays anymore. Isn't that cynical? I'm not cynical. I just don't. You know, my dad's gone. My father.
Well,
and I
the
like to
kids
stay.
have, yeah, the kids have, their boyfriends and their, all that, and their dad, and then their parents, and all, and so I'm just the nice and easygoing one. And
you need to do your thing, and because of my family dynamics, it just became a little bit different. Unfortunately, I don't want to go into that, but so I'm a recluse. I only know one other recluse like myself, but he's male. He's just a male version of me. We know who. You know who I'm talking about.
I do.
But so anyway, so anybody else is coming on? I haven't said hi to. So anyway, so that is at Thursday, the 28th, Thanksgiving, and show starts at Pacific Standard Time. It's 5 p.m. and it goes to 7 p.m. on Eastern. It's 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Correct. So I would take advantage of that, people that are listening or people that might be listening out there that's not in the chat room. For those of you that might be listening to somewhere else that you want to come to the chat room, just come to TarotVisions.us and click on live show and you can get to the chat room. My daughter in Thailand, if you got my message. Hey, my daughter in Thailand, if you got the message, stop by if you're. I saw that you had your Skype up, so stop by. Does she still have that up, Julie? Can you see?
Yes, she does.
Well, I think she ought to get her. I've been having some great talks with her. Anyway, so I know I did it. I said hi to Reggie and I didn't push this in. Sorry, Reggie. There, I did it a long time ago, but I didn't click enter. Shame on me. I wanted to say I was on a show last night over at Para Encounters Network, and I can't pronounce whatever. It was with Tidal and Anita, who I met when I was up in New York. And they had me on as a guest, and I had a lot of fun. Actually, it was good. I didn't do readings or anything like that, but they were asking my insight on things, and I talked about psychic bloggers. As a matter of fact, to go check out what I thought and my view on things, because I'm all that, man, and then some. Yeah, right. So those of you who don't know me that might be listening, I think that there's only 6. Well, there could be viewers outside of this, and of course, if you're listening to the archives, I'll tell you who I am. I haven't tried to figure that out. It's been years of searching for my identity. My name is Maureen, and I'm an intuitive, psychic empath, and I have integrity. Yes, and I'm not just making that up. And with caring heart, I do my work. Well, I must do my work. Sometimes it's difficult, but I read for people globally. I work on a site also at psychicaccess.com, and my private clients. And I've been doing this professionally over almost 25 years about right now. I like it when people saying, I've been doing this for over 20 years and get to find out they're not telling the truth. But I am getting to the point where it's almost 25 years. But anyway, I take my work seriously, and I want to tell you the best readings. It's not that I don't want anybody not to call in. No hangout tonight. No, Barbara, and there's a reason why I did that the way I did it was too much for me to handle at the time. But things will always change in life. And pretty soon I'll be on a cruise ship. Right?
That's right.
And I'll be broadcasting into the world. Okay, anyway, or the cruise ship. Yeah. Well, anyway, last night I was doing this, my short-term memory loss. I get lost in what I was saying. What was I just saying? About before I went to the, what was I saying? Thanks. Can you keep me on track?
See, now mine's gone too. You were talking about Anita's show.
Oh yeah,
And
that show. And also, and I was talking about what I did, and also
Right.
I was discussing with them. Oh, and I'm also at psychicaccess.com and my private clients. Oh, this is what I was saying, and it's not, and I don't want anybody to take this the wrong way that wants to call and ask a relationship reading about that, because that does not bother me. But I would like to say this, because they asked me a question: what is my, the main thing I love about my work is doing, I guess you could call it spiritual development, or you could call it, well, this is what spiritual development to me means: someone that is really open and will, be held accountable for their crap and do the work. And I gave an example, and this is what I get the most success, or feeling of success, you know um, excluding money or material part, of course, but which is always nice, but of course, but I get the best success, or I feel victory, or I feel a sense of wonderfulness that I do the work I do. And I gave an example I wanted to share with you tonight about two individual gentlemen that, it was probably about 5 years ago. Unbeknownst to me, I have no idea how they found me. They were local, and they both didn't know each other, but they were both from the East Coast. And the two of them, they came like within 3 week time periods, connected with me. I don't know how. I think I might have had a business card at the little local coffee shop. This is, I never got calls from having my card there, but suddenly these two, this, this certain year, and they were like 3 weeks apart, contacted me. They both were really wanting to work out their issues on their violent rage that they had going on, that they admittedly said that it was really something that they really wanted to get help with. And I asked them how they found me, and in fact, they did say they saw my card of all the people and all the little places. These two guys, like I said, did not know each other, and I won't give their names out, but I worked with both of them, or they came, they contacted me throughout the course of a year and a half, and I don't know where they are now, or I haven't heard from them, but I felt so good because these guys, because coming from my background of my personal experience and identifying with being with somebody that had rage, these two definitely weren't mentally ill, though. There wasn't mental illness going on. I'm not laughing at the mentally ill, as you know, because I am, but there wasn't that or the drugs or anything. It was actually because of the rage that whatever being raised with, and conditioned by their families or treating. But they were so upfront and honest, and they really, I loved them. They were fantastic. That they really wanted to do that, and they were the kind of guys, especially Barbara lives in New York, or anybody that in Doug, people, you get the New Yorkers, or the people from New Jersey, the men that are like, too cool to be doing nothing, but they're fine. They're not going to work on anything. But apparently I was okay because I wasn't a noted counselor or a therapist, but I really enjoyed. That's the best success yet, when I do those and help in those kind of readings. Just saying, if anybody is curious to hear. And Barbara says, "Oh yeah, I really loved how they posted." Oh, but Barbara, I'm able to resolve that. In fact, I didn't have time to tell Julie they were going to be able to do that by way of me setting my settings on live stream. It'll go directly to YouTube and go through YouTube. As a matter of fact, Julie, I was going to do that.
Yay!
Yeah, so I found out how I need to do that. So that's something, and it's an easy thing. So that's something that I just have to go into my studio at live stream to do that before I start the show, which I didn't do tonight, but because I always upload it after the show. Some of the shows on the archives, sometimes they'll be gone. I found, and so what I do is I've always uploaded them myself to YouTube. I have a playlist with all the shows, from even some of the ones from way back that I kind of thought that were cute, or I looked better, or I was younger. I don't know why I kept some of those silly ones, but I do know that I'm able, what I'm going to do, and I should have had it done today, but again, I was pretty much on time, huh, Julie?
Yes, you were.
Yeah. So I could have been better. I could have done better, and I just need to go to my live stream. What I disconnected live stream. All I gotta do, I know exactly where I need to go, and I click in YouTube, and I don't even have to do anymore. And so when my show's running, after we stop, the show will already be over at YouTube.
Nice.
Yeah, and it goes through the YouTube, so they're connect. You know what I mean? So it's
Yep.
really that'll be yeah. I didn't know that was a feature, but so that's a good thing. So how is super duper nice to see you? How is New York? We have two New York. One's in New York City, and Doug's not in New York City, but two New Yorkers, and Susan and Reggie. Reggie and I are in California, but Julie, you were on the time zone
That's right.
of California. Mm.
Up in Washington State.
Yeah. So my daughter, before readings come or before people want to call for readings, don't be shy. Or if you want to call in just to chat, Susan says we had a show tonight, and oh,
Yeah,
you did.
snow. Ooh.
Oh, you had a show, snow. Yeah. Okay. You know what? Wait. You know what? My eyesight's really good for reading, but I've broken them for long distance driving. But if I went up like this, then I could do it really good because I can read from this far back, but I need to get closer to really. Those glasses look really like dumbass. I'd rather just put on my sunglasses and go. Anyway, snow. I love snow. We've been having a lot of rain. Crying. Wah. We're crying in California with all this darn rain. Oh gosh, how sad. But was Barbara saying? Wait, no, I was in the city today. Oh, Barbara, I was in the city today. Went to my ex to buy a couple of cell phones on the street. Well, Barbara, I want to tell you something. I was talking to Mariah just Thursday. I talked to her Thursday. I talked to her last night. And the reason why I know she's doing well, my sister was in town in Bangkok on her way back from Himalayas holiday. So my daughter was feeling really great. I knew and then suddenly my daughter woke up and she was staying at the hotel. She woke up and my sister Teresa had already left. She left on a flight early, and she said, so then she started feeling that homesick stuff again. It was good for her to see family. But she was telling me that we were talking about her plans to Columbia and this new opportunity. In addition to her studying, she's going to be going to the monastery next week. So really, she's doing great. But anyway, we were talking about the Columbia, and Barbara, I visually can see myself, and she will get into Columbia, and she's already gone there. She went there before she left for Thailand to go in there, and not all people will do that, but she had the extra money to do that, to go. She spoke to the department, and Lisa Miller, the woman that runs the mindfulness degree, for the master's degree on spirit, they're bringing the spirituality. It's like I said, things have changed. It's so cool, and I'm watching my daughter be part of it with her change of her neuroscience with spirituality coming into it. But anyway, she was telling me that now another new opportunity she found out, and it's something great. So I said, well, I definitely can see myself. I'm going to be moving her into there, and so therefore I would like to have a good time while I'm there too. So, and if there's no calls coming, I'll just keep talking, because when I was on my way to do the Shanley, recently out of town, because of my flight being delayed, I got $100 voucher towards a flight. That was just a lovely thing that happened.
Nice.
That was very nice. I didn't see that one coming. So then I saw my daughter. This is all making sense. She's starting to really actually get me a lot better than ever. Which a lot of people think if you have a mom as what work I do, and a lot of kids are great with. I know Brenda from our previous co-host. I love Brenda on Psychic Access Talk Radio. Her daughter embraced, her work, what Brenda did. My daughter was a little bit different, which I'm glad she was. But on the other hand, now she's becoming more embracing and getting it, that I'm not a charlatan.
Yeah.
And all the advice I'm giving her is more enlightening. It's not just about psychics and this and that. It's about all of us coming together in the world, and the science part coming into what really matters, that being, kind people to human race, to humankind. Well, even the people of above. So if you'd like to call in, I guess the number, I'll verbally say it. It's 858. If you have Skype, it's TarotVisions. It's TOR. I mean God, TarotVisIons is my Skype. Or you can call 858-952-1090. Thank you, Julie. You're typing. I'm gonna have it here. So if now I'm trying to read. So when I'm looking over here, wait, actually I can show you guys. I'm not lying. See, here's my Mac. See, this is the chat room. So when I am looking, I should probably just sit here like this. Okay, I can see. So I'm doing that. I actually am really happy. I am yet again my sister gives a gift of Mac. Julie, I would like you, if you don't mind sharing. You don't. I mean, I'm not trying to put your privacy. I just think it's a great thing with what you found today. I don't know. I just think those are the things in life you don't usually think that will happen because no people are good, people are nice, people are sharing people or anything. If you want to share that with us. But
Sure,
yeah,
I'll share.
this is a fantastic thing, and Julie shared it with me. And if you don't mind, I'd love you to share it because it all comes down to this: paying it forward and doing things. So go ahead, Julie. Tell us.
It is.
I'd like. Okay.
We had a mobile home given to us today, and it's livable and all that stuff, and I'm thrilled. I'm just thrilled, and it's paying it forward. And she bought it for $200, and she is the property manager of the mobile home park, and her mother bought herself a new house, and so her mother is giving her old mobile home, and she is giving us hers. So we're getting a new mobile home for us.
For no cash.
Right? No, nothing.
And that is the thing. I always wondered that's and that's fantastic. So I mean, and it whatever, and plus you loved it, and it's functional. It's older, but it's functional.
Yes.
But people are always saying, and then the rent on that is very reasonable. If anybody knows about that, I mean, I lived on a beach area in Mobile years and years ago. That was hardly anything, and so this is awesome. It is awesome. I mean, and it's
awesome.
It's so great because I didn't know those things really happen. I've heard about that, but that's fantastic. I guess Julie, you were saying some people said, I don't want it. I don't want to take it because basically I don't want to pay my $400 rent.
I know. I could not believe she was saying that.
I mean, that's all you have. You own this thing.
I know. And when we're done with it, we'll go ahead and give it to somebody too. So.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. I think it's wonderful if we all take paying it forward in that way. I guess is the best way of looking at it. And share, yeah, and that's really nice. And I'm grateful for people that have done that for me. And I'm grateful. Wait a minute, I should do that on my thanks. No, it won't be after Thanksgiving. I'll talk about it on the Thursday night show. So anyway, I just am saying, be sure you all go to Thursday nights. Julie, you will, I know, but and tell everybody if you want free readings, that's the night to do it for 2 hours. We're doing 2 hours. And we're all 4 going to be on. I'm Doug. Is that correct? I believe it's correct. I don't want to say something wrong. I believe I know 3 of us for sure, but I'm pretty sure all 4 of us. Yes. So that's even better because sometimes we don't have all 4. So
wow, isn't this the first one that everybody's all on, Doug?
Very good. Yes, Julie. Very good. You remember more than I do. Yes, it is the first time. Every year we usually just have 3 of us. I think this is the very first time for 4 of us. So I would take advantage of it because we've been getting a lot of callers. Caller has boosted. Also, Lisa Williams will be joining us in the next. We're not sure about her, but we all know who Lisa Williams is. We used to have Rez. Oh, that's right. Did we have Rez fill in all the time?
Not all. I think she only filled in one time.
I don't think for Thanksgiving. I remember there was 3
of Christmas.
us. I remember Steve and I were always the ones who would go for it, but I will. Anyway, upcoming, and this is a really great thing. We're not sure exact date, but Steve brought this. That Lisa Williams. Everybody knows who Lisa Williams is, I'm sure. Do you? No, I brought this up last night when I was on this show as a guest. Some people don't know. Lisa Williams is a pretty well-known person.
I don't know who she is.
You don't? Really?
No.
Now, I'm surprised, Julie. I think you would. Well, Lisa Williams is, she's right up there with, what's their names? John Edwards. except better. Lisa Williams she had her own show for quite a while. She's a medium, and she's from England, but she's very. You look her up if anybody wants to know. That's the show, and so we'll be finding out sooner or later. She might be in March. We're not quite sure, but she is, and she's was a real hard. I mean, that's I think she'll be the highest end guest yet. All of our guests are great. Don't get me wrong, a fantastic guest, but you know who the uh, John Holland is, don't you?
Uh, Not really.
You went to that show. Can't you let me
I
ask? You know who Sylvia Brown is, don't you?
I remember following her a long time
She just
ago.
died. She just died.
Right, right.
Okay,
And
so
I know John Holland, and it's John Edward too, I think, from Facebook. And
John Edward is
that's
another
it.
one. John Edward, Lisa Williams is like those names, except Lisa Williams has actually made a better name for herself than even John Edward. But she's a cool lady, and she's from I forget it's what Doug, what it is it Hay House? You know, when they're connected to that, it's hard to get guests on for to approach
Yeah.
guests. I think it's the Hay House because they have other ones. Sounds True, Hay House. They have the Deep Control. But
Well, you've had Glynis McCants on too.
yeah, and Carmen
Yeah, Herrera.
Herrera, yes.
I think it's Herrera.
And I had on and Colette Barron. Colette Barron's another one who's
That's right.
And also, well, this is one close to my heart. A lot of people may not think, but the Rhines, J.B. Rhine, that he's the one who helped. He was not alive at that time, but his daughter, who's in her 80s, I had her on first, and they were from Duke University for psychokinetic, and that was my thing, and that's how I found out I had this stuff on. It wasn't for that or books I found on the Rhine. So they're very well. It's like they're comparable to Edgar Casey, but they're because her father and mother were responsible for bringing and this was the 30s, 1930s and 40s, which was a long time, bringing in a correlation. And this is at Duke's University, which is a very it's a university. Duke's, it's a normal university, but they were the first to bring like the parapsychology type of thing and doing tests on PK and the Zeller cards. That's where the Zeller cards came from, actually from there. One of the business is a professor was the one who created. I forgot his name, but Sally Ryan Feather. Yes, Sally Ryan Feather, and she's in her 80s, and so I always see her as an icon. She's just an icon to me, and her parents, Louisa Ryan, they really, in that time, during that time period, the 30s and 40s, parapsychology was they were the fathers. You know what I mean by fathers? They fathered the name parapsychology, which has now become a pretty big thing. No one heard of that, but they did these controlled studies that were very well to this day. They were also called in with the original Exorcist. It was a boy where that movie came from. It was a boy that I think he was in Ohio. They asked J.B. Ryan to come and check it out, see what his thoughts were. So he played a little bit of instrumental part. He is actually in the book. If anybody knows about what I'm talking about, the original Exorcist, where Linda Blair, the movie that was made from, was actually, in truth about it was a boy that had this going on.
I've actually never seen that movie.
I was just talking about this the other day. I went to that movie when it came out. I remember I was 13. I went 5 times just so I could each time say, it's not real, it's not real, it's not real. It's only the movies, it's only the movies, it's only the movies. Is that your dog snorting? Is that your dog?
No, must have been me.
Good. Okay, so is anybody going to call him Rose? I'm not going to force people calling for readings, but if you don't, I'm just going to start singing to you. Or I can start talking about other things psychically inclined. Or not. Or I can talk to you about grief. I can talk to you about... The holidays are coming up, and I hope everybody takes note of their moods. Because it is a very difficult time, and I do think that we all are told from the very start how there's a lot of people that want to exit out of life during that time. and it is a hard time for people. And some people, you don't know how hard of a time because they won't say so.
Right.
So I really want to, anybody listening, reach out to them because it's okay. You're not alone. You know, my, let me see, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I have to count on my fingers. My 4-year anniversary for launching this web TV, web, yeah, this thing is December 26, 2009. I started. So it's 4 years on that one, too. Would that be right? 4 years.
Yep.
Just like, it's funny, just like the Psychic Access Talk Radio. So people are pretty cool. This is the thing I was thinking. I was thinking about cutting the show off, cutting out an hour of it, just because people like to stare, just like to stare at me and not go. If you want to ask a question in the chat room, that's fine too. But then again, it was my fault. I didn't get this out in time, this event thing, and that's just my dysfunction and everything else. If anybody would like to call for to tell me off or to do anything of that sort, go for it. I really don't have a problem with that. If they want to call up about, whatever else have you, as long as they're not stuff about naked women. Or I can talk about what I talked last night. I had a really great time on that show I was on, and I did. Of course, I did the talking. I talk slowly though, but Susan, I am a broken record. Thought I would give you a break. Susan, you're okay. I'm laughing my ass off. Barbara, are you laughing your ass off with your lip? I know. But Barbara, I gotta tell what it is. Anyway, I was at Eric and Kim's, the network last night. And one of their hosts asked me to be on the show. And it was a late night for them. It was like a midnight. It was a Well, it was it was midnight there. Yeah, midnight their time.
Midnight their time. Wow.
Yeah, and so anyway, yes, and so I went on there, and it was all about me. And he, Title, really great guy. He was asking questions about things because he just started out as a professionally. He just went professional reading to. I really liked him because he was really. He wasn't a. Some people. I'm not putting down anybody. I'm not gonna say anything about that. But I was talking to him about, how some people just are. It's difficult and how you handle it and he asked me a question. Was interesting. What do you do for yourself if you start doubting yourself? And it was interesting because that's a really good subject matter that I got into. I don't even remember what I said. No, I do. And it still happens with me, and I know that I can't let it go there because when people start swaying me, and that's my own demon that I've got to deal with, and where I need to be, no, stand my ground. This is what I'm getting. But he asked me about some people calling, and it happens all the time at Psychic Access when we're working. People call and say, "Well, that's like you told me." Or you told me this would happen. This time has passed, and the way I say it. Listen, I've had that happen before with a client, personal client, that I've used this before on here, and I kind of exaggerate a little bit, but it basically, hello everybody else that's not in the chat room, but that there's more viewers I can see, and come into at TarotVisions.us and click on live show. You can get the chat room, and I can interact. But I was talking about that one time, and I've used this before. People, it's a broken record, you might have heard it, but about how, somebody says, well, you told me some relationship opportunities coming into the picture, and let me say, I talked to her in April. I said something maybe July. This is just, example. And she calls me up in August and says, well, you were totally wrong. I didn't meet anybody. I go, well, what did you do between that time? Well, I just kind of like been waiting. I'm not kidding. Some people, I can't help. Oh, so could you have maybe gone to, were there any invites to go to a party? And it was funny because she had to say, there was one, she goes, well, yeah, I think I was invited. But you didn't go? No. But I didn't want to go around in circles with her. But the bottom line is if somebody, some people, my time frames, for one, I will say right now, I am not 100% on my time frames. In fact, I've been off a whole year on one particular one that was exactly what I was picking up, but it was a whole year later. The only reason why I know now about this is because I'm still with the same client. And it's beautiful because she's going to be getting married, by the way. This is a good
Oh,
year.
nice.
Yeah, and I saw this stuff, but I was off by a year. So I will tell people I'm not perfect in my time frames. But the bottom line is if somebody decides they want to sit on their butt and not make things happen, how am I supposed to? My help, whatever I did for them, isn't going to help them because I can't, I'm not God. I can't force them and bring the Almighty down and put angel wings on some guy coming at their door, flying through the window. So when people get upset with me about that, I say, well, what have you done? And not everybody does this, I'm just giving you an example.
Right.
It's frustrating. So yeah, free will. That's how I read. I'm not God, and I don't proclaim to be it. If anybody does in psychic art, they don't. And also, every negative can be a positive, and I really take pride in the fact that I really stand by that because, and I never read death, even if I see it. I'll read it from the past if I see death from the past, because I'm not God. And if I said to someone I thought that someone might be, if I see danger, Will Robinson. I love Lost in Space. Danger Will. If I see some type of, not so comfortable something coming up, that maybe run, don't walk, because I see it in the past. Boyfriend come around, rage, don't answer the door, don't speak, something like that. I'll indicate there's a choice there. But I have no business saying anything about death. If anybody that you talk to does, they're terrible, because I don't believe any. We all have these gifts, so-called gifts, they're called. Sometimes they're more difficult, but anybody can tell you and take your personal power away. And smart people, women and men, professionals and other, not maybe in the professional world, but in another type of. Well, it doesn't matter. Every type of person is really gullible to people that really will tell them what it is, and that's all there is to it. It doesn't work like that. We have choices, and that's how I read. And then if people come back and say, "Well, I didn't. Well, did you make? You had a choice, or and then so that's how I try to handle those things. And for a long time, that it was hard for me to figure out how to handle it. Hello,
Yeah, caller.
hi Barbara, how are you?
I'm good. Hang on a second. I have to turn the volume off on the other one.
You sound so clear. Oh, I'm so glad you called. Uh,
Oh no.
I can't hear anything.
There we go.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, it took me a second
I couldn't
because
hear any.
I have you on in the other window as well.
I didn't see. I didn't hear any feedback at all, so that's okay. There's
I
none.
know that I have my headphones on. I was
Oh,
the one getting the feedback.
oh, I see. Oh,
um, but listen, I'm. Can you hear me?
perfect.
Yeah, great. Okay. A couple of things. I'm sitting here listening to your stories, and I love them because if you share information with someone, sometimes it has to just, resonate and, be with them for a while. Doesn't mean it's going to happen immediately. It's a possibility. And it might not happen in any particular time frame, but when it does, what you say is actually accurate. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, I do know what you mean, and
It,
that's
so they just have to wait. And, what if it was like 5 years from now? I mean, I'm saying this only because I know how accurate you are. In 5 years, exactly what you said happened. They're just going to realize that got the date wrong, or it was just something you saw that was going to happen one day. They
yeah.
just have to resonate with it a little while, let it simmer.
Yeah, and that's another good point. And I brought this up last night. For my private clients, I absolutely record everything. I don't want to know. I did that before the computer. I always had cassette tapes, and the reason, even before that, I had people take notes. But and the reason I do that, and it can't. A lot of people may not want to do that because let's say they say something in a well, I stand by my readings, but they'll have recordings, and they say, "Well, in the recording it says this." Well, okay, so I forget what my readings are, and it's good. I let it go. I'll remember some bits and pieces sometimes, but I'll let it go. But and then I make it. I'm pretty funny, I am. And I said, "Well, if I said
Yeah.
that and it didn't happen, well, catch me if you can. I'm running." But I did, but I did have one person in the late '80s who was at the time a dental student at UCLA. She was a client of mine for 5 years, a long time, until she was a dentist. And it's funny because she had ended up having hundreds and hundreds of cassette tapes she had kept through the years, every time. And I read for her maybe about once every other month. So there was a lot of time. I did a lot of reads for the years. And it's funny because she said one time, do you want these recycled? I would no, do whatever you want. But she listened to them. She did. Once in a while, she'd pull one out, and you're right about that. Because she goes, it's interesting because a couple of things that you said did happen years later, but that's what not too many people would be so mindful or want to even think about that because it's in recording.
But when it happens, they know. You just may not actually hear from them at that point or something if it's 5 years down the road. But they know at that moment because it's happened to me and it's happened to other people that I know. And, you have to experience it, I guess, to know it's true.
You're lovely, Barbara. You're lovely.
And I have a couple of other things. Is that cool?
No, yes, absolutely.
I'm taking notes. You were talking about all the tapes.
Right.
You know, what's really interesting is when my mom died and we were going through all of her things to figure out what to do with, do with everything. She had boxes and boxes of cassette tapes because she used to record every phone call that she had because that was the technology then. And I don't know how often she listened to them, if ever, but they were all marked and organized. And so as we cleared the house, which took several weeks, I listened to those tapes all the time, 24/7 almost, because there were so many and I didn't want to discard anything of value. And I actually found some gems there. But some were tapes that my aunt, her sister, my Aunt Betty, had sent her. So I got to hear my Aunt Betty having conversations with my mom. And it was so cool. And I ultimately didn't keep but 2, I think. And we're talking hundreds. But it was such an amazing experience to be able to listen to all of that and to hear stories about their family and thoughts in those moments. It was fascinating. So it's so cool that you record all this stuff. And I just wanted to, make sure I got that in there.
I remember talking to you right when my father died. Remember we were a little bit after that, I was talking about a cassette tape because I did cassette tapes on some of our conversations remember?
Uh-huh.
And it was a synchronicity moment. You go, really? You said, because you just had talked about finding all these. I remember our conversation.
Oh, wow. I actually don't remember saying that, but I'm sure I did because we used to talk all the time.
And it's interesting because I recently just found another one that I was asking him about. I was doing that. They have those books out for everybody can buy about the legacy. They're great. In fact, my mother, but she'll never and you had a father. So I was working with my father. It was 10 years way before he died, but about his childhood. And so book of their legacy, they sell them. They're really cool. It's one up there for my mom. They have for your father and your mother. And some of the things like I found out, I didn't know about my father, so it starts from childhood. And so he didn't want to write this stuff down. So I had my cassette tape. And I recently just ran across that too. And that was really cool. And I still have a cassette player. Nobody
I do too.
Yeah. And so, I think recording everything is fascinating. And also people are willing to be open to listening to because like I said, sometimes I think it's fantastic. Brenda, who I was a co-host at on the radio show on Thursdays, she is a predictive psychic and she really is. She's fantastic. And she's very, she has it going on. She's very close to her time frames. I'm not going to say I could say I am, but I'm not. And I do put that. A lot of times I'm pretty close. But there once in a while with some people, it just maybe that is just what it's supposed to be. With some people, I'm off. But
well, nobody's perfect. I have more.
Sure.
May I continue?
Yes, you may.
I think we had a synchronistic moment a while back before I started actually talking to you. You said, it's one of the reasons I called, you said, catch me if you can.
Yeah.
And earlier today I wrote an email to one of my clients about something that's going on. And I wrote the phrase, catch as catch can, which I think is pretty damn close to catch me if you can,
That is. Wait,
it's fun.
What is it? What is it? You said, say it again.
Catch as catch can, which basically means, a little of this, a little of that. Right. Anything can happen.
I like that.
Keep it up in mind.
I'm going to use that.
So, okay. And I have one more. And this one is actually. Go ahead.
You're free to go on for as long as you want right now.
Well, and then I'll hang up. But I had a really cool experience today. When I went to the city with my ex-husband to buy a couple of cell phones that are going to go back to Egypt. He wanted to get a really good deal, so we tried Astoria, Queens, and the deals just weren't good enough. We knew we could get something better, so we went into the city, 28th Street, and he was looking at the cell phones and stuff. And then he got a cell phone. We were on our way back. On the subway on the way back to Queens, there was this really cool kid who got on, and he got on in one end of the car, which is where I was on, at one stop, and then the train continued. And between there and the next stop, he'd walked the whole length of the car talking. And what he was saying was, he held out a hat and he said, listen, I'm not poor, I'm not homeless, but I want to live free, and I'm asking for your help. If anyone can help me, I would really appreciate it, but I do want to be clear. I'm just a really happy guy who, and he went on and on and on. And I'm listening to this thinking, that's a person who's living in sovereignty intentionally. Yeah. And they're not uncomfortable saying, hey, this is who I am. This is what I'm doing. Can you support me? And I thought it was really cool. And so by the time I realized what he was saying and what it meant to me, he was at the other end of the car, and it was almost time to get off the train. So I didn't have I had big bills, and I had like $1 bill. And that's all I could really give him in that situation. But I wanted to make sure he knew I thought that was great. Nobody else gave him any money. And so I have like seconds, and I'm zipping down the car, and I caught him before, I caught him in time, and I said, I wish I could give you more, but what you're doing is really cool. It's great. And I said, okay, see ya, and I had to run to get off the train. But my ex-husband was like, I don't think I want to know, right? Because he's Egyptian, right, and old school, but in a really cool, way. So he tolerates or understands or accepts that I'm this weird being, but how do I say that? But kind of accepts it, but pretends it doesn't exist because it's too hard to deal with. So I said, well, I'll tell you if you want me to tell you, but I'm not sure you want to know. And he goes, no. You keep your story. You keep your story.
Oh, that's kind of hard. But
isn't that a great story?
I really love that, because I feel if somebody did, to me, I completely get what you're doing, and I would as well, because he was authentic. He was real.
Yeah, that's exactly it. He was authentic.
And you know what? I have no problem, and I don't judge. I judge not. I'm not going to judge on anybody like that. Yes, he was, and it's in a way that, and he didn't have to be.
No, he didn't.
There's not very many interesting people like you or myself that would be open to thinking he was authentic. Okay.
Oh, you should have seen the rest of the people. For the most part, they observed him with the same attention or lack thereof as they would anyone going through begging for money.
Exactly.
They didn't really get it. Yeah. And I got it, and I was really impressed by it. So, I know he could have said anything to get more money, but that wasn't what his intent was.
No, he could have said anything, and that's a new one I had not heard. And I believe him. He could have made it. I believe him. I believe
him too. He was a real, I don't want to say clean cut, but he was not homeless. Yeah. He was just a guy. He's probably mid-20s, but very mature, maybe a student or who knows, but it was just a cool experience. I'd never experienced anything like that. No. To me, it also meant things are really changing on all kinds of different levels. I've been in New York since 1987. Used to work in the city every day for 15 to almost 20 years. So And I've never seen that before. So,
Right.
it's a new age. And I think that more of that kind of stuff around the world is happening and is going to continue to happen. I was thrilled by it.
No, I like that stuff. Well, I can identify with why you would be, definitely, and I wish I was on there. I mean, I would, and it's interesting because a lot of times I get these things. I'll go, who do I want to share this with?
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
gonna be able to share this with many people because they're gonna go, yeah, right. So we'll go, whoop do.
No, not a
No,
52-year-old Egyptian.
no,
Not at all.
no, but with me, I'm so glad you shared with me because I love that, and I support that. With what I like it, and it does have a lot to do with we're on a shift here into a whole nother land of bitterness, and
Yeah.
some people may not be mindful or self-aware, but I say that's really great because I've heard some things before from people, but no, and there's nothing wrong with. I have no judgment on what he was asking for
And nor
love.
do I. And he wasn't saying, he wasn't begging. He was just saying,
No,
hey, can you help me out? So,
his wife,
help him, not help him.
yeah,
It didn't really matter. It was pretty
it was
cool.
real. It was real, and and he spoke truth, and that's the way I see it. Whichever it pertains to whatever story, if anybody does that, I am in awe, especially since that has been lacking for so many years. Like even
Yeah. And he looked me right in the eye and, he was very genuine.
yeah, I like that, Barbara. And Barbara, there's one thing I want to tell you too. I really appreciate you always putting the postings up on this sign because I don't know where you find those things, but they're
They
great.
find me, honey.
Oh,
So every time
I
I
love
see,
them.
every time I see one, I just think it's probably not for me. I'm like a conduit. That's what I think.
Yeah, no, and I don't care if anybody else doesn't get it, but I may not always say or comment, and I just say like, but I love it. Keep doing wherever you find them. Just keep
I
doing it.
will.
I pass it on to my mother, those things too, and she looks on my wall. She won't comment, but I pass it. She just loves them too because of why, why we do. So,
Yeah.
and it's special to
I,
us. So,
I just wanted to also say that I thought what happened in the subway really tied into what Julie was saying.
yeah,
Julie's story, because I think it's all really part of the same bigger picture.
no, that absolutely is true. You're right about that. It's like getting, that's right, because you want to live. That's a very good point. It's just it's doing it exactly. But that guy was probably more, that's absolutely true.
Yeah, different kind of exchange.
It is. And you know what? A lot of time, exactly. And there could be a good reason. He could have been, for all we know, he could be Jesus.
I know.
But still,
The,
I think I love that. And I definitely would have, if I was there, and if I saw you, we would both be, I would have done the same thing. And I also would have viewed it the same. I would have viewed it absolutely the same because of his authenticity and his truthfulness and thinking how cool it was, how cool that is. And it's interesting.
I was just going to say that's really all I had. If that's not like that's not hogging the show
No,
enough, but um,
Barbara, I never feel your hug show. I like it when you come on. And I'm not just making that up, I'm not, I could be, but no, I like it when you come on.
that's what I mean when I laugh like that, and I say I'm really laughing over here. That's how I'm laughing when I'm listening to some of the stuff. This is great radio.
Thanks, Barbara. You're
All
sweet.
right, well, let's pass
Well,
the
Barbara,
torch.
Barbara, are you still doing your radio show? And if you want to, can you tell us? Are you
I'm not because I ended up with too many things on my plate,
right?
and I just had to let go because
Yeah,
I made choices.
I see. I
So
think
I'm
that's
not
good.
I'm not doing it anymore.
You
I
know
just
what?
can't do it
I'm
all.
happy for you on that though, because that's a good thing then.
Yeah, it actually served a really good purpose on that particular network. That show helped us understand that network's audience really prefers live interactive programming,
Right,
where I changed my format intentionally to test out short, like 15-minute shows, because I was doing 2-hour shows, and it
right.
was just too much work. It
It
took
is.
me days to prep
No,
for it. It's like
there is a
shit.
lot of work put into Thursday night's a lot different from tonight. What I do, it's an event. It's like an
Yeah, it
event.
is. It is an event, and I would have as many clips of synchronistic things that happened to me as I could find time to put together, and it just was a consuming. But I enjoyed it. It was so I thought, okay, let's test out a shorter format, kind of like a YouTube version, streamlined, short little spurts, almost like news bites. And we just weren't getting enough people watching it, which is perfectly fine because it was a great way to test it.
That's
And
right.
that audience doesn't like that. So they don't like pre-programmed,
And what Barbara
more
said,
commercial-like shows.
and
And I wasn't offended because it still is a great show. It was the wrong audience, and that's
right.
okay.
And that's what you do. That's what you do so well too, Wilma. I love your business area on your business energy about you, as you know. You're a really smart woman, very intelligent
Thank you.
woman. Well, don't thank me, thank yourself. I'm acknowledging
Oh,
it, but
thank you, Barbara. You are so cool.
no, you're real good at the marketing and the business sense, and I do appreciate everything that you have helped me with too. And
Well, honestly, call me anytime. We could do some, offline chats like we
yeah,
used
I
to.
know. I really
Kind of.
do need to do that. Absolutely, because you're the gal.
I want to hear more about cruises.
I know. I've been trying. Well, you were to be in me starting that, and I really was trying to do my. Well, it's not lost. But I was getting into it thanks to you with the deliberate attraction.
Anything is possible.
No, you're
I
right.
know this.
Well, the fact that Julie, I know when she talked about like I said, she attained a mobile home for nothing, for absolutely just because.
Yeah.
And I've heard about that, but that's fantastic right there. So everything is possible. That's true, but you got to make it, and you got to yeah. And sometimes I need help doing that. I can't do things on my all by myself, and I'm being honest about that.
Well, it all goes back again to intent setting
Yeah,
and how you genuinely view that process and allow yourself to step into that mindset, and how often you allow yourself to do it. Because kind of think of it like this. I've been reading a book by a woman. It's in the other room, so I don't want to go grab it. But it was written in like 1908, maybe. But it definitely was no later than 18. But I think it was '08. And I didn't even know people were writing about this stuff. And it's about 70 pages long, and it's basically thoughts or things. She goes into really dense detail about vibrations and frequencies relative to thoughts and how that actually interacts with your own energy field, the colors of it, how it does or doesn't bleed into other people depending on where they're vibrating, et cetera, is a fascinating read. And it boils down to your intent, because if you set whatever the intent is, deliberate attraction, law of attractions, intent setting, however you want to label it, if you genuinely allow yourself to believe it and see it and just allow it, then whatever it's, because it's energetic and vibrational, and it doesn't question, it just responds. So if you create that intention, if there are things that are in your way, the vibration you're sending out will resonate, and they'll go, oh, well, we don't need these things anymore. They're kind of in the way. Let's go pull more of this stuff over here to fill that need. And that other stuff that you spend your time thinking about falls away because your energy has now set the intent, and
right.
the vibration is going out looking for it. So you have to genuinely allow yourself to believe in that intent and to feel it and to find time for it and step into it, and then allow. Otherwise, all that other crap comes in and it keeps diverting the attention away until you think of it again, and then it goes out and starts all over
No,
again.
that's a
Do you
good
know what I
point.
mean?
And feeling worthy to allow it is the main thing.
Yeah.
That's true. And it is very, I mean, come on, we've got these tools to be able to do. And it's still, I crack up at myself because sometimes it's easier not to allow it to happen. But yeah, that's exactly right. That's cool about that book from that time period. Of course, it was been going on way before we
Yeah.
did. That
It
is
was
really,
like, I don't know who, I can't remember exactly the research, because the minute I heard about this book from some other source and ordered it from the library,
oh,
I looked some stuff up on Google, and she was like a New York socialite. It's like, she didn't really plug into what you would think of a person of that time period being in order to have those thoughts and to take the energy to write that book.
But she knew it.
Yeah.
She knew it.
Well, I mean, I think if we all look back at our lives, we can identify moments, whether we were aware that we were sending out that intent or not, that things actually fell into play that way. I was telling my sister the other day, do you have time for a story?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
My
I was
show.
telling my
I can do it. Yeah, I do it.
I was telling my sister the other day that I just put together from now my 54-year-old self some things that happened in my 20s that I was too close to actually see what was going on. But in retrospect, it made a statement to me. And here's what happened. After I got out of college, I got a job in Indianapolis, was there for about 9 months. And the guy I was dating at the time wanted to move to Cincinnati from our hometown to live near his father who'd moved there. So as a paralegal, I could get a job anywhere. So I applied and got a job there. Literally the day that all of my stuff was packed in boxes and I'm sitting on my couch waiting for my boyfriend to arrive with the rental truck to pack my stuff up and move, another boyfriend from college just showed up at my door. I heard the door knock, someone knock at my door, and I got up thinking it was this guy, Matt, that was coming to take my stuff and me away. And it was Steve. And it was like, huh? What? And he said he had no idea that I was moving, but that he had gotten my address or something from my mother, who he didn't even really know. She never met him the whole time I dated him, and he lived, right down the street. But anyway, it was just chance that he came, and he goes, "Oh my gosh, since you're moving, come with me." Because he lived in Chicago, and it was like, I was so tempted on one hand because I had a great relationship with this guy, but I also loved my other guy because I'd been with him for like 3 years. But I would never have allowed myself to make that choice, even though it sounded exciting at the moment. And so he was there, gone in an hour, basically. And as soon as he left, my boyfriend showed up, and I moved. I never really thought anything else about it because, just that, wow, that was weird. So then fast forward about a year and a half, I had broken up with this guy in Cincinnati, and I got another call from the same guy. And he was just catching up. "Hi, how are you? Your mom gave me your number." And again, it's like, how weird is that he would go to that trouble? He asked me just to come in to visit. He says, "How you doing? I was wondering, wanted to catch up." "Well, why don't you just come? You're not tied now. Just come for a visit this, on a weekend." So who wouldn't, want to go to Chicago? So I drove up. And when I got there, the first thing he said when we took my stuff up to his apartment was, "This is great. Now let me call Susie because we're going to meet her for dinner." I said, "Who's Susie?" He goes, "My girlfriend." So I'm thinking, what the fuck am I doing here? It's not that I assumed it would be romantic, but I thought that it was like a leader towards the possibility kind of thing. And I'm like, this is. I just drove hours to get here, and I said, "Oh, forget it. Let me just. What can I do? I can't do anything, so I'll just, enjoy myself." Long story short, I met her. We ended up getting along, and they talked me into trying to find a job there because, why not? It's a great place to live. And a few months later, I don't even think it was a few months, probably about a month later, I actually did get a couple of job interviews, moved there. They met me and Matt, who, even though he wasn't my boyfriend anymore, helped me move to Chicago. And after that, I never saw him or Susie again. So looking back at it in retrospect, that he happened to step into my life 2 different times, the bottom line is, for whatever reason, I was supposed to be in Chicago. And the opportunity popped its head once, and I ignored it. And so it found its way back. And as soon as what was supposed to happen happened, I didn't have to have Steve in my life anymore. Isn't that bizarre?
No, it's not to me bizarre. It is what it is. I've always seen, there's a meaning behind it. I used to say that. I don't say that as much because I know that now the word synchronicity has become more popular than ever. But no, it is. It is. It's not bizarre to me.
Yes, so all of us can look back at our life, and
We
somewhere I
can.
must have set an intent that I wanted something. I mean, I kind of know what my thoughts were back
Yep.
then, but that was the road to get there. Because ultimately, I lived in Chicago for about a year and a half, 2 years. Moved back to Indianapolis for about a year, and then it moved on to New York. And the way I got the job in New York was from a girl who I'd worked with in Chicago.
Chicago.
So
So you had
who
that.
knows, that the whole thing might have been for something as simple as knowing her so that she could
That's
then get me
right.
to New York, which is where I was supposed to be.
No, it
You
is.
know,
It's
so
like
it's intent setting. It's
no.
all
It's
intent
interesting
setting,
how
and somehow it plays itself out for you.
it's interesting, and it does happen all the time. And it was even better if you can pay attention to it happening, even through
I
the
know.
or keep a journal through the years of certain things happening. It's fantastic to do that, really. Or it's nicer when it's a little faster than that. I've been talking to my daughter about that stuff too lately, about the synchronicity she's been going through. And then we've been talking a lot better together about things, and it's all for some fast. Well, Barbara, we've had talks about this.
Yeah.
It fascinates me, but it is what it is. It's there. It is. I know. That's all I know. It's not about believing. It is. But it's sad. It's sad to me that people may not be aware of it now, but perhaps a little exercise for everybody that may not, no matter how silly, like, you talk about signs or when we were doing our intent, if you see something, remember I told you I'd see a little thing about a cruise ship at Goodwill or something like that.
Uh-huh.
Pay attention to those things. Pay attention. Everything.
Yeah, and just be clear in your intent and don't be
Yeah,
afraid to step into it. Give it a shot. What the hell do you have to lose?
you don't. You don't. You
So,
don't.
on that happy note,
Thank
I
you,
think I
Barbara.
shall say goodbye.
Barbara, thank you for calling, and I love it when you call in. I appreciate it. I really
Yeah, I
do.
love you.
I adore you too and love you. You're just, I mean, I've known you now for many years, and you've just been
I
wonderful.
know. I know.
Wonderful.
Well, we'll talk soon,
Okay.
okay?
Okay.
Have
Bye,
a
Barbara.
good show. I'll
Appreciate
be
it.
in the background.
Okay. Thanks, Barbara. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. No, you might want to call in, you guys. Is there a call in already?
Someone is calling in,
Okay.
yes.
I'll take that, and then I'll take a break. Okay. I'm ready. I'm ready. Hello. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm pushing you, Julie. Yeah, Julie, get on. Get on there,
There we
Julie.
go.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, caller.
Hi,
Is this Rose? Wait, who's this? Hi,
it's
who's?
Susan.
Hi, Susan. How are you?
Good, how you doing?
Fine. And it's snowing there. How lovely is that?
It stinks. I can't stand the stuff.
I love the snow. I love the snow.
Yeah,
So
but you live in California. Of course you love the
no, but it's
snow.
the only reason I live in California is just because I do. But I lived in Alaska. Well, I lived in Alaska. No, I lived in the snow when I was younger. I mean, I by choice when I was a teenager.
Yeah,
I
there's
just
parts. Well, there's what? There's parts of Northern California that get it, right? Like
yeah,
Tahoe and
but
stuff.
I don't know. I like the good snow. Like I lived in Utah, Salt Lake City. I like the snow. I think it's cool because
Yeah.
and hot flashing at this time of my life. Yes, it's even better.
Yeah.
But of course,
Yeah, I don't have a garage anymore, and it really stinks having
oh,
to clean the car up at 6:30 in the morning to go to work. So.
I know, but you know what? Whenever I went to Utah, and I'd always go in the wintertime. I just love. I'll take care of it. I'm out there with hardly any clothes on because I feel so much better because and I'm shoveling out the snow so my stick can get her. I'll take, and it's good exercise too. But I know. Well, of course, I live here, there, and it's different there. We've changed places. Of course, it's always going to be like that because I don't have
Yeah.
it here, and you get sick of. Well, maybe not nothing, maybe. I don't know.
Well, I've been in New England my whole life, and I think the difference is too is like I have a cousin that's out in Colorado right now, and she says it's just different because we get the wind chill and
Yes, you do.
there's just stuff that she says it could snow like the Dickens where she is outside of Denver, and then in the afternoon it's sunny and bright and it's warm again, almost like warm again. It's like she says it's just much more harsh out
It
there,
is
and
a
I'm like,
different.
yeah.
You're definitely right about the different types of. There's Alaskan snow.
Right.
So
I
so
can't stand her.
yeah, but
But
I bless you with snow.
yeah.
So Susan, what's up?
Oh.
What's up?
Well,
What's
I
going?
just thought it was interesting. I enjoyed listening to you and Barbara chat and some of the things she said and whatnot. And one of the things you had brought up was the, timing and how you always say when you're doing the readings how your timing can be off and whatnot. And I just wanted to add to that thinking, I agree. Like I know your timing is off. Like it's been off with mine too. And but what's encouraging is that even if it's off, it's mostly because I'm impatient or someone else is impatient for what we want to happen to happen. But at the same token, what's good about even if the timing's off, that you get that feeling, and it, like for me, it gives me the hope to like continue believing in what I believe in, knowing that you, in a sense of supporting what I'm saying and what I, so
Yeah, and I
it's just
appreciate you saying that. And it's not because I want my timing to be off, and sometimes it's not, but there's times where there could be a delay that has I can't control.
right, that free will thing that comes into
Exactly.
play.
And it happens, but if I still see something, let's say it's in a really positive light, I still see it coming, even though it's delayed for whatever reasons.
Mhm.
I'm not God. And if I was God, gosh, God only knows. He does. I say God. If anybody has a problem with that, too bad. But
Mm. No.
whatever you want to call it, if I was, and we lived in a perfect world, well, shoot, I would bless everybody. I think we wouldn't have any good lessons though if I did that, but or any of us had that good thing going on.
Mm.
But I appreciate you saying that. But like I said, this one person, I won't tell. It's hilarious. It's hilarious because she actually has written notes. She's very good, and I was a year off, and it was really weird because when she sent me what, and it was about meeting almost, I mean, a very certain individual type, the type who had, I could go on about, but it was very detailed what I had told her. But I was almost exactly a year off in the season.
Uh,
And she's engaged to get married, and it's interesting just recently. And the whole thing, and so when she's kind of, she goes, well, more, and she's really hard on me. She's a great client of mine, and she's funny though because she can't be hard. She's a lovely, I adore her, I care a lot about her. But she's like, yeah, and she goes, listen to these notes, and she sent me to me, and she goes, it is kind of eerie, although you're a year off, and it was kind of eerie, but it was such a detailed what I was getting about the person and the family he had and everything else and the timing. It's kind of funny. So I go, well, so what? It's not my problem that you delayed it. So
yeah,
I
right.
don't know. Maybe but I got myself off the hook on that one. So Susan, is there
Yeah.
something that you wanted me to give you some time off time? I'm just kidding. Off
What's
time.
that?
Is there any reading you want me to do for an off time? Just kidding. I don't want everybody to think I'm always off on my timing, but I do admit it. And everybody that says they're not, they put themselves up for not.
No,
I don't.
you're not off. You're not off all the time or anything like that. It's not that. It's just like you said that it's true. It's like some of the things you said, like you pick up right on, and it's like they're either happening or, and I didn't even say it, or it's happened or whatnot. And but I know. That other person, like when I talked to you about, the guy,
Yes.
it's you can't control what he does, and that could change the outcome of things. I mean, he's got his journey to go through too. We know where I'm at. We know how that I'm ready and what I want.
Right.
And I can keep trying to manifest it as much as I can, but when you're dealing with another person, you can't make them do. You can say what you want, but
the only thing you can do with that, and it's very hard because most people don't want to risk it, is detach and sever. And the only reason why is not because then you get them shocked and say, "Oh, if they do that," but it's because you get boundaries in place. And for me, I just learned that word in my 30s. What's a boundary? I didn't know what that was, but people don't want to do that, so nothing gets changed because by doing that for themselves, I'm going to go on a woman doing it for herself. If there's an issue, whatever, the guy stepping it up, and they get fearful. No, if I do that, that means I'll screw everything up and I'll never see. But would you want to keep on going? But what happens is, if they do it with their intent, like Barbara was saying, like the intent is for themselves. What's so fascinating is the other person. A lot of the time, and if I read for somebody, it may not happen, or if I feel they'll get the benefit, even though you're not doing it for that reason. It's not like you're trying to play games. They'll get a benefit because suddenly you're no longer part of the play, and then they work on themselves more, and they get it together. And a lot of times, but it's almost like that someone will. I'm not saying have faith, or I just say be fearless and do what you need to do. But that is a very difficult thing to do. I'm talking about really detaching. And I have told a story about this before with somebody. my sister's friend. This is when they were younger. I was living in Utah. She was 26, 27, and she is a perfect example. And I remember her wanting so much this man she's with. She wanted to get married. She knew what she wanted. He wasn't going to step it up. He was a doctor, and then he was also in law school. I know these people. They're still this is 40 years later. But anyway, I was 17. She was 26, 27. I really had a great relationship. She decided she was going to leave Utah, where was at. She couldn't handle it anymore. She couldn't handle waiting. She couldn't handle the mixed message, all that stuff. She decided to make a conscious decision after careful consideration. She moved out of the state. She couldn't handle it. And she moved to San Francisco. She got involved with somebody there. And he came back. It took a year, but he got it together. He couldn't live without her. And they've been married for 45 years.
Wow.
And they have lovely children. But this is a true story. But she took a big risk, and he came back when she was really involved with someone really great too.
Wow.
But she knew that he kept saying, "Well, I want to do this," but as long as she was living, but I remember I was young and listening to her, and she was 27, older than me, but I remember listening to her, and I'll see her for a few years when I'm visiting my sister's. It's one of her closest friends. I remember her telling me, a 17-year-old, all this stuff, and I know now why, because I was really loving to be inside. I was wisdom oriented. Of course, she felt comfortable, and I remember what a brave woman she was. But that is a good example of that's a very and it broke her heart. I mean, it wasn't easy. It was devastating. She loved this man in Utah, But 2 years went by. He wasn't going to commit. He wouldn't. He said he didn't want to. And then one day he would. That stuff. Blah, blah, blah. And so she goes, I've got to move out. I can't be around him because I just will go on like this for years. Nothing. And if she had stayed, perhaps that would have happened. They may not have been married or ever had children.
Right.
So
well, if she stayed with him and just let it go on, even though that's what she wanted, he didn't.
That's right.
They would have just gotten stuck in that place.
People do get stuck. And because,
right.
It happens. So by her doing that, it wasn't because she thought, I'm going to leave him and he's going to run after me. She knew that. And it didn't happen like that because he certainly didn't. He said, well, you're free to go. In fact, everybody was so mad. I remember he's a great guy. They're all old people now. They were all like younger, but it's really neat because they have a beautiful family. But they have a great story, and I happen to be privy to because I had been living there. But like I said, she was really involved with someone in a really serious relationship, and a year later, a whole year went by, and then he got it to the guy in Utah. I'm not going to give names. He knew then what he wanted was the same thing she did.
Wow.
So those.
Well, let's hope that's what happens with me.
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that was a risk she took. She did a big thing, but she was wise enough to know she couldn't control it, what he wanted.
Right.
But she also, I felt, didn't want to go down and be down and keep going on in the pattern she was playing part into.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not saying
kind of the one with that law of attraction, So.
Well, it's not like that. It's kind of like if somebody's tolerating somebody's and getting away with not or being indecisive about what they want, and they'll know that you'll go along with it, and it doesn't matter. It'll just go on and on. Not that you're consciously going. You know what I mean. So did you want me to look into anything for you? Not that I was giving you. I wasn't lecturing you, but I was just trying to give you a really good story.
Well, I mean, if you want to just really quickly, I don't want to say too much, but
I can. It's my
I'm hearing that he might be like just still in a downward spiral of sorts. Like we were hoping maybe soon he was going to be actually in a better place, but I'm not sure if that's really happening.
Well, are you not seeing it? Are you not? You know what? You can hear me echo. You might mute the player. Do you remember how to do that?
The what?
The player. On the chat room, there's where the player is on the very left hand under my face? There's a little screen.
Oh, I'm upstairs. You want me to go back down to the computer and turn that off?
No, I could just hear myself echoing, but that's okay.
All right, hold on one second. Hold on. It might be my phone, too. I've been having problems with the phone. But let me go up. Hold on one sec.
I'm sorry, Susan. I didn't mean to. You didn't have to do all that.
All right, I don't know why it's not.
It's okay. It's all right. It's all right.
All right, I turned the sound off now. Is that better?
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. This is what I am seeing. I do see a newer, I see a new home environment coming, a new beginning, a new home environment coming. I also see here somebody coming back around. Here. I'm forgetting something. Do you live together?
No.
Okay. You know, excuse me. How far away does he? Okay, it isn't a long distance where you live between each other, right?
Yeah, we're an hour apart. We're in two different
Okay,
states.
it's an hour, and I love it when you write at the
An
cross.
hour.
He's in interstate, but it's an hour away, but that's not so bad. I do see a new opportunity. I see a new. It does look like it's going to be a little bit of the warmer time, but I do see that to be almost like the center coming at me. The warm. It's like spring. It looks like your early part of spring, but I'm also seeing someone coming back around. Um, that is a, I see victory that's coming from a very hard place where you've been going through, and an individual coming back around and asking to make restitution, and I'm not just talking to money, but restitution for their behavior.
Okay.
You're looking like you could lose you're losing all sense of faith and hope about this. I can understand why. I do feel that it's not fair. You guys have that past life stuff. I don't go into that all the time, but did I ever say that to you before? I don't know. I don't go on, but I'm not saying I believe it. All I know is what I know. There is something about we come back, we need to get straight, and it's so difficult to journey. But if it wasn't, it wouldn't be so interesting. But I do feel that it's almost like there wasn't some fairness. Susan, I see this. I see a really positive progression, but the progress is such a slow thing going on here. Uh, it's I would not. I don't feel. I feel very positive about that. There's some really intense things going on right now. There's a lot of torment. Like I feel bad that when I can feel torment in someone. They're tormented so badly that they can't yet do anything about it. But that I see soon will end. But I do see a vision, like I said, and I do see a choice to be made on your end, which I feel you should be fearless and go for it. I also see that you're going to be. Well, it's normal. Well, come on. You don't see the light in the tunnel. You're losing faith, and that you better grab hold of yourself, whatever it takes to gain back any kind of faith for anything in your life. Because, like for me, be going. I haven't done it lately because I don't want to have any hope. But I go to the beach or do whatever it takes. Some people go to church. Do whatever it takes to wind yourself back into a better place. I see him being able to release a lot of things from 3 years ago that were so painful. Like his demons, his lessons we talk about emotional things that he's going to be able to be okay, put it to rest. He's probably been trying to do this, and it's just, I see it will come into the place, and he'll then realize, oh my gosh, and he'll feel more like he's not damaged, but he'll feel more complete. He'll feel more like he's complete as a human being. Yeah,
Yeah.
like, do you
Do you
follow?
do you see him suffering a loss of someone close to him?
No, what I feel is that there's already been a suffering, or even if someone has a fear of a loss. Like I said, I don't read anything about the death stuff in coming up, but I feel that there's already been, like, I see three major things with even something from 3 years ago, and it could also go into 3 months or something. Is there something that he's scared about right now? Do you think that he's fearing?
I don't know because I haven't talked to him or his brother in months.
You haven't, not even his brother.
No, I pulled away. You told me that it might be a good idea for me to kind of do that. You thought
Okay,
his brother was not a good thing for us.
okay.
Like he
Yeah,
would be
no, and
sabotaging or
I
whatever.
am still, and I'm glad you brought it up because I don't remember, but now I'm remembering. I still see his brother. He looks like he has anger raging issues, and he should be staying out of it. Listen, I am seeing there's an extreme fear of poverty or money law. Okay, not having.
Uh-huh.
Okay, that can really depress anybody. The loss that I feel that he's fearing mostly is himself. That's pretty intense. It's not, Susan. This is a hard thing, but I do see him. Like I said, the progress is so slow, but I see him coming towards. Right now, there's a lot of torment, but I do feel, like I said at the very beginning of this reading, I said I see, even though we're not in this. I see a change of residence, a new home, new beginning, and it pertains to you with. I'm not saying his name, I guess, but in him. But I do see a brand new start, but it does pertain to change of residence where you both would be in the same. That's why I was asking how far away you live from each other.
Okay.
This is not happening right now today, but it's almost like I can see this, and it looks like it's right. It's almost like it'll be the weather will be getting a lot. It'll be unusual. Our weather's always been unusual, but again, it looks like late February.
Okay.
And I also am feeling like there's three things or something about you asked about loss. I feel that he's been dwelling in some loss from the past that really, and this is emotional stuff that really got to him, that he was dwelling in. I see him being able to finally be at peace, but also, if anything, within the last 3 months, also he's still, unfortunately, he's still. It's like things, and like I said, things are. There's like a sense of unfairness. The fact of it is, I don't feel the brother thing. I do see that. Also, I want to ask you something. Does he have a sister or mother energy that's kind of negative? I don't know if you know.
From him or me?
No, from him, his side. Or the brother
his mom is deceased.
Okay, does his brother have a woman around him that's, well?
Not that I know of.
Well, his mom's deceased.
Mm-hmm.
Did you? It's interesting because I'm seeing like it's like sometimes in age, sometimes I always think that we're all a bunch of kids still. Not.
Mm-hmm.
And so my mother's our age. But I am seeing a woman that really a raging person. Also, I see the brother. It's interesting. Maybe it's something with runs in the family, but he was not. It's like he could have been real different from all the rest of them, and I don't know. Maybe there's stuff about his mother. To see, I don't know. Let me just put it this way. I'm picking up on I'm going to go on the motherly figure first. Because I said that not a nice woman, very angry and not nice, and I don't know if he ever even was open enough to talk about his mother to you or anything. He has a hard time opening up about anything. I can see that, but
well, I know there were some issues there.
I think more than, really awful. I feel. I don't know how to articulate, but that's one thing I think he's doing. How many years ago was it when she? How long has it been?
She passed in 91.
Okay, was there just I keep picking up on 3 months. Was there an anniversary? Do you know if the anniversary?
Well, his dad passed in 05.
But do you know about the anniversaries of the time periods? Like
she died in June.
Okay.
And Dad died in January, the year that he passed. And her birthday was December.
Okay, so that's stuff that's coming up too, and his dad. Okay. It's almost like there's something that he doesn't seem anything like his brothers. He doesn't have the same vibrational energy of his brother, which is good.
No, very different.
Yeah, it's good. I do feel he's going to really make peace and put things to rest. There's something about, and because I'm asking about the anniversaries and stuff like that, because that could have something meaningful. Why I'm picking up on this, because I see him being able to put things to honor them, mourn, and let it go, and bury it, but not bury it into dysfunctional, but bury it, and then be able to live. Things have been bothering him. I can see why his brother has rage. The mother looks like rage. He sees you as quite. You know what? He actually, I don't know if he sees you as quite somebody that he would not be worthy of being in the party. He doesn't get why you even would want him. I know you didn't do anything around that, but he sees you in a very functional way. But I think the thing what I'm seeing is until he gets through the no more dwelling, like we do that. We tend to linger. I know I do it. I keep myself isolated by staying in that place. It's a very hard place to get out of, and I'm always giving advice. And I know it's easy for me saying I understand it so well, but I do really see him getting over that, and is coming up soon. So it could make some sense. And the holidays are here, and his brother. If he comes up near us, he's like a very mad person, angry person. But I do feel that you two will be okay. And I do feel that you should be fearless, even if everybody doesn't support you. But I feel that you know as much as I know about this, even if all the stuff is going on around him. The best thing that you can do is not help him get through this because he's got to do the stuff on his own.
Yeah, and I'm not in touch with him at all, and
That's good.
it frustrates me, but
Yeah.
at the same token, I know that he has to do this, and he has to come out on the other side before he can be with me.
Right, and I don't see him with any. I want to tell you this. I don't see him frolicking with people, girls. I don't.
You know,
No,
I'm worried about that.
I know. I
kind of
forget.
worry. Like I didn't think he's in a relationship per se, but I wondered if he's doing anything.
This is the thing. I don't feel that he's. This is a good thing about this. I don't feel that he's at that stage. He might have been a while ago, but stuff is coming up too much close to the skin on him now. Things that he never wanted to deal with. That's what I'm saying.
Mhm.
So he wouldn't be having energy into trying to go there and take his and run from it. He's not. There's
Okay.
stuff happening here that he's unable. He's not capable of shooing away like maybe before he could years ago, whatever, or a year ago. He's dealing with things, so that's his main thing. So there's no room for him frolicking around. I guess is what I'm saying. I don't see it.
Okay.
And I'm not saying be wise, but I feel really positive. But it's difficult. It's very difficult. And
Right.
but I do feel that he really does the depth. I feel he's going to be more aware of its time as the month up into the months of the holidays and everything else. The depth of how that he feels about you, call it love or even more than that, it's becoming more real to him. And it's also becoming more real that maybe he screwed things up and but that it will be dealt with you too. But I do feel that the money thing is really not helping things. His fear of,
Right.
that's devastating in itself, and that really is. And I do feel that that's partly a lot of the why stagnation's going on. He feels that you're so much higher above him, and that's his own head thing. I know you wouldn't, but I feel you two you'll get through this, and it's good what you're doing, and just do what you're doing, but don't. If you start losing faith in yourself and everything, you're no fool.
Yeah.
You don't have to listen to everybody else. I don't think you do, but this is a past life issue, definitely. You got to get it right this time with this guy.
I want to get it right this time.
He's got to get it right too, but you will. The best thing you're doing is not helping him through this. That's the best thing.
Okay.
You know how many people? Oh, I want to.
And see, originally when he pulled away, that's what I wanted to do desperately, was help him through it.
We all do.
And him pushing me away, I just couldn't get it. I couldn't understand it. And now I realize, like, for whatever reason, he needs to get through this, like you're saying. Before we can.
And if you did the work for him, you'd be resentful and torment, and it would be a mess. And women, I know I've done that, and it's like then I tolerated so much awful things. And it's like because I wanted to be put on a pedestal. Like I can help it when being enlightened. It was all about me actually, but I can help them. That's what we tend to do. But that's the worst thing you possibly can do because then you get stuck in their mess. This is and I admire that, and I'm not saying that I see this just because I like you, Susan, and everything. And but I do feel it's not easy, but I feel that it'll be okay. And it's not supposed to be an easy journey. I know we all think it is, but most of the time it's not when we're the things we think we don't need or things we need the most. The stuff like you two, you need the most crap going on. Well, that journey's going to get to where your result will be.
Yeah. I think what's just the hardest is like anytime I make any little attempt, like I said, I wished him a happy birthday. He couldn't even respond.
He doesn't respond.
That's the tough part. It's like, really? You can't even just say thank you? Like, that's what I don't get. And that's what's hurtful to me. And I'm trying not to take it personally. I'm trying to, remember he did say he had to pull away, but...
I know. You're right about that. And it's almost like that's a real self-absorbed person, but then he is being self-absorbed. And I know. But on the other hand, even when they're not, Julie, just a second. Even when they're not, and tell anybody that's on hold, I'm taking a break after this anyway. Sorry, Julie. But Susan, even when they're not unhealthy, men are like that anyway. Sometimes,
true.
So I guess, I know, it hurts the ego, I get that, but, really, I guess, I don't know. Just let me know how you're doing. Draw me an update from time to time. I'd appreciate it.
I will. I'll talk to you on, we'll do another prior reading at some point soon, and
Yeah.
we'll
But-
talk. We can get more into detail. But you
Yes.
go take your break.
Oh, thank you, Susan.
All right. Thanks for
And
talking
thanks
to
for
me.
calling in. Bye.
All right. Take care. Bye.
I was trying to type to Julie. Oops, Julie?
Yes.
I'm sorry. I know there's probably another person. And
There's two actually, but they know that you're going to take a break.
yeah, they better know. Okay, I am going to take. I'm sure. Whenever I should mute myself because I never can hear me. And then I'm talking. Whenever I type, I talk out loud. Wait, hold on. I'm going to do this. Wait. And then I'm taking a little break, Julie, and you know what that means. We're going to dance. No, it'll be a short break. Just want to type something. Okay. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to go on break, and I think I know how to do this. And here it goes. Watch this. Okay, I have something to play, and it's all set up. I thought.
I got kicked out.
You got kicked out of where?
Out of the chat room.
Who did that to you?
Oh, there I am. Weird. Oh, I did it to myself.
Where's my, I'm having a hard time finding my, hold on, you guys, just one moment, please. Where did my wonderful little, well, just a second. Why I'm doing this, you guys can just sit there and talk. Okay, I'm going to play, I had the music all ready to go. I have no idea what, but here it goes. Here it goes. Okay.
Before you slipped into unconsciousness, I'd like to have another kiss, another flashing chance at bliss, another kiss, another kiss. The days are bright and filled with pain. Enclose me in your gentle rain. The time you ran was too insane. We'll meet again. We'll meet again. Oh, tell me where your freedom lies. The streets are fields that never die. Deliver me from reasons why you'd rather cry. I'd rather fly. The crystal ship is being filled. 1,000 girls, 1,000 thrills, a million ways to spend your time. When we get back, I'll drop a line.
And we're back.
Okay.
Julie, you are doing a great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Trying to find, oh, here, okay. Let me sit back down how he was with all these pillows at me. Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready. And I
Okay,
can
Rose.
see Rose. Hi, Rose.
She's not on yet. She
Oh.
should be calling any second. There she is.
Hi, Rose.
Hi, Maureen. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you, Rose?
I'm good, thanks.
What?
I just wanted to let you know your timing's usually right. It's just I want things quicker.
Rose.
So it's a me thing. Your time is right.
No, Rose, I know. I wasn't ever thinking of you in mind when I'm talking about that. Actually, I was, and it might sound like I was because I know we talk, but is thank you for saying that. But it's not always you. I am sometimes off on my time, but I wasn't thinking of you. But now I'm thinking about it. I do probably messed up your timing too. But thanks for hanging out. I mean, it's late, I know, for you, and I'm glad to see you here.
What did you say?
I said I'm glad to see you staying up late here, coming in here and hanging out. That's really nice.
Oh, you're worth it.
Oh, you're so sweet. Rosewell, what's
So
up?
I just reached out to. Oh, go ahead. What?
I'm sorry. I was saying, what's up? What's up?
Oh,
What's up?
I did reach out to Glenn myself
Okay.
and just sent him a hello text. I thought I'd take matters into my own hands once again.
Right.
And he did respond, and I said it was, I'm happy, to hear from you. And then he replied back, have a happy Thanksgiving, to you and your family, and I just said you as well. And I guess my question is, with Thanksgiving's next week, and he's wishing me a happy Thanksgiving now. I know it's positive that he responded, but is he still closed off at this point, or is he going to be to come forward?
And I thought I saw. Yeah, I thought I'm sorry. I'm sorry to do that. I tend to jump in on people. I don't mean that, Rose. To shut you, like interrupt you, like I try to work on. And the reason why I'm bringing this up because what people don't know, and I'm not going to give out all your business, but because I do, you and I, I read for you as a private client, and so I do know some things. But I want to, and I did see, and I remember yours quite a bit because I'm so hard on you. I'm really hard on this girl, everybody. I'm really hard, but all good intentions. But I did remember saying I really saw you spending the holidays with him, but I know that something came up and the stuff misunderstanding. So what I'm trying to understand is and so you know, and I know what we're talking about. Not everybody needs to know everything, but the last time, remember what happened when he, was upset about, how rude that one, right? Okay.
Yes.
So you reached out to him after that, is what you're saying, after that time period with his text.
Yes.
Okay.
And I reached out Thursday.
Okay. And he came back and he was nice with what he said. Anyway, he wasn't like. So my feelings about what happened with that thing was a total misunderstanding, unfortunately. And there might be a delay from that one. I don't know because my whatever. I'm not going to go into it so much, but I think you get what I'm saying. So he said, "Have a nice Thanksgiving." And did you ask? Did you speak to him, or was this all by text?
It's all by text.
God, you guys, I've got to start calling people. I'm just saying that sometimes the texting. So it wasn't like, okay, well, that didn't seem like very good news to you. I mean, even though you reached out, it still wasn't the news that you were hoping for.
No.
I'm sure I shouldn't be saying at this time. I do radio. I'm meditating. Bad thing. Well, let's put it this way. What I'm seeing him doing right now is juggling himself, or with the idea of being able to juggle around and with he's confused about how to approach. You two both are confused about how to approach yourselves, but I'm glad you reached out to him. I know that must have been difficult. And wait a minute, what did you say again when you reached out? Did you say hi? I know you must have just said something I don't remember. Did you say, was it nice? Like, hi, just seeing how you're doing? Did you say that probably already? But you might as well repeat yourself if you did.
I just said hi because I didn't even know if he'd respond after what happened.
I know, but
a couple of weeks prior.
So you just said hi?
And then,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he replied back, good morning, and I replied back, it is. It's so nice to hear from you, and I hope you're having a good day. And then he replied back, have a happy Thanksgiving with you and your family.
He's feeling he's lost you. And I'm glad that you were able to. He is. It's just like, and I know, and Rose, I'm not saying this because of you or anything. I just feel the misunderstanding of everything with, and also texting and stuff like that. I do feel things can get misunderstood. Raise your hand. I think people could agree they can. Well, not when I say F off to my family on text, but I mean, if you're real direct, but I mean, as far as, it's almost like in a way, I'm just seeing that I'm getting, and a lot of times I'm getting more about you in this, but I'm seeing him. Well, last time the reading was about his, I felt it was his. What I'm seeing his feelings being is hopeless with regards to the connection with you. It's just a hopeless situation, and that's not true. We both know that, right? But then again,
Yeah, he's feeling that way.
yeah, but then again, he has bigger bigger lobsters, not big fish. He has bigger things to be dealing with. I do feel that he is going to be going, like we spoke about, and that thing I really wasn't aware of. I am absolutely seeing him getting ready to take care of some of his personal power issues of getting it together, and I see a lot of justice surrounding this. I see a lot of justice now. Like I said, unfortunately, I did see you spending time together at the holidays. On the other hand, I feel perhaps maybe it might be just a blessing, in fact, that you may not, because it may be where maybe what I'm seeing is he's heading straight for. And I've said this word, and I don't talk about cards all the time, but here it goes. I'm going to do it because this is my favorite because I had studied it. Because this is the one that I had a hard time admitting my issues about. Is the tower. There it is. The tower, Rose. He's going through that. It's not about you, Rose. This is his stuff. That's crap. If you even look at it, it looks like hell. That is something that people will go through, and what's happening with him because of his outside, what he does, and stuff to run away from things, and how he deals with it. We've spoken about that. You can't have a relationship with someone like that. He's got to hit the bottom, and this actually in this tarot card, the Tower, which I love, and it's a number 16, and number 16 goes to number 7, and the reason why I studied so much when I was learning on my own and doing the drawings, this I could relate to it because I felt like I was being thrown off something that I always felt I was supposed to believe in, or I don't use that word, but I used to, or my morals and values, and I was confused about everything. And I was also very much of a mess on drugs at this time. When I hit this, I remember drawing pictures about this, what it made me feel like. And then I just, numerology point of view, it's number 16, which goes to 7, which goes into the Chariot card, which has to do with taking control of your life then. I might be confusing you a little bit with this because I'm going a little bit on the tarot a little bit more than usual and numerology. But what I'm trying to say is he's smack dab. It's inedible. It's something. I mean, complete destruction is coming. Is it? He's heading, or he's actually probably simmering in it. That is exactly what he needs in order for himself to be able to pick himself back up, because that's what the Tower. People are being thrown off a very large, and they're thrown to the ground. Usually they'll break into pieces, right? Well, or they'll be so fragile, but they'll decide to rebuild what will work for them, because they're living in la la land right now before the Tower hits, and what they think is just working for them. The walls are just strong as can be. They find out later, no. So they rebuild a foundation. It's like that strips away everything that you're conditioned with, strips away all the dysfunctional stuff as well. So they rebuild on their own terms. It's a slow process, but I am seeing like right now, what I'm seeing is it's going to be for him. I feel it's going to be there's no victory come January. And it's fascinating because I'm seeing a man here, a father figure. I know his father's around. I think I was talking to you about that father. It's that stuff he's dealing with the father figure, because the same thing was, except I don't feel he has the other part of the illness his father also did. You know what I mean? We've talked about
Right.
Okay, which is a good thing. And I'm not putting on people, because I'm mentally ill. But,
No, I know.
Okay, but the thing is, I do feel that there's something very intense. So even though he's physically not here, there's something he's dealing with, and I see him willing to deal with it and putting everything else aside. I don't see other women coming around. I'm also seeing that the sense of losing hope when something's happening like this is actually a really, I won't wish it on people, but it's a really great thing. I'm also seeing a female, not a romantic type of female, but a female person that also has been through some. She would be is a supportive type of person that will help him, and it could be, I mean, it may sound ludicrous. It may be somebody that is a counselor type or someone that's had same problems. It's nothing to do with a loving. It's someone else that's going to be very instrumental. That I feel will be very instrumental. That she'll bring out what is necessary because she's been in the same thing and she's overcome it. And I am seeing. Then again, I'm seeing him. It's going to take a bit of time. I see him really putting himself back. Back to the pieces in a really positive way because he's rebuilt a foundation, but really coming through this is going to be months and months. But I do see you two very happy reconnecting back in a positive way. You can't be with him right now. You can't. And the thing of it is, like I was telling Susan, but this is a different situation. Like you said, it's totally, it whacks you out, Rose. It whacks you out. Even if you tried to be, unfortunately, even if you try to deal with this in a way that anybody else would deal with a relationship, it can't be done with him like in the way he's in, or what, you know what I mean. It can't be done. But I don't see him being a lost cause either, and I don't feel that. I feel that the worst is yet to come for him, and I feel he's not. It's not the worst. Doesn't mean I see him going to be gone off the face of the earth, but I do see there's something he's already heading towards. And like I said, I see a very supportive female that. Did I ask you if he has sisters? He doesn't have. He has no sisters, right?
No, he's an only child.
Right. It looks like I want to say it looks like somebody. It's almost like somebody that really helps him see that it's time. It's not like the people that he works around at all. It's nothing like that. But it's somebody who has been really much similar, destroying their lives. Like, she's. It's all about water and drinking and things like that. But she's okay, and she like will help him find his way back. Well, find it to be more comfortable, I guess. And I do see the springtime, early spring. I see it's not so far actually. Sometimes the tower going. I see him having personal power, and not only that, I really see a sense of finally here's the justice that you're supposed to be getting. Because if he was not dealing with the big demon we're talking about, I do feel that he would embrace being able to handle it, but he doesn't know anything else better. I see a lot of harmony I don't see him as a lost cause. No, I just see him heading in there's a sense of fairness with what will happen, and also, I don't know. It's almost like in a way, it's like I think things are going to work out fairly for both of you involved. And it is very much so. It's like this is the final end of the madness where the beginning could come out. So it's almost like I see a successful outcome, but this outcome is going to be because it's going to be coming from a real difficult time. I'm not telling you should be waiting around doing anything, but I do feel that you two are actually just supposed to be together, and that's all there's to it. Sorry to say, because it'd be easier if it wasn't the case. But then again, Rose, like I said, I don't feel that it was supposed to be easy. And the ones that sometimes that are extraordinary, some people that can connect in this world, in this life, there's something extraordinary about it, and it's usually not a smooth sailing. Rarely you hear it is. Rarely I hear it is, or see or feel it is. But I do.
So should I not expect to be around him like over the Christmas holidays?
I'm encouraging you. I see you getting some better sleep pretty soon. I'm encouraging you, for your own best interest, not to be.
Okay.
And I know it's going to be hard. And I'm not saying if you feel like checking in on him, I feel that that's great. And I'm not telling you what to do. But I am encouraging you because this is the thing. I feel that sometimes, and you know because you were raised with this too, and I know I can identify with it. You have a hope sometimes that it will be every time, but almost like that's where you start losing your faith and your sense of, the false hope comes into the picture. He's not. It's almost like you can't realistically have expectations of him being able to being consistent. Let's just if you want to, you can reconnect and do this. I think it won't be really great because it's still you're having that up and down or mix everything, and that would happen when somebody is going through what he's dealing with, and that I do see him eliminating from his life in a good way. But I feel he's heading towards a really big time. And if you were around at this time, you'll go crazy.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
So I'm not saying for you to wait, but I don't feel that there's any, I guess if I was God and I was able to tell you, this is how I see it. Come on. Rose, okay, basically, this is it. I'm God, and I'm going to say, Rose, I'm assuring you he needs to deal with this all by himself. You can't be around him doing this because it would just mix everything up and delay everything or whatever. But I promise you, by this time, he'll be back into his true skin. And really, I see a fantastic connection because then you can have a real relationship with somebody else that's present, and because he's eliminated the other part, that other stuff, drinking, okay? But I'm not
Okay.
God. I mean, it would be a lot easier. So, but that's what I'm trying to say is I do feel it would be to your best interest not to. I'm not talking about his, okay?
Mm-hmm.
If you can do that.
But does anything terrible happen to him as
No.
he goes through the process?
No, it's going to feel like terrible feelings to him, but that's his own stuff. It's an awkward feeling, but this is the best thing. I see him getting through it okay. It's going to be difficult,
Okay.
but I do see that he will get through it. It's not like every time you'd be dealing with this. You've dealt
Well,
with
you know how sometimes people, they have to, when they crash and burn and hit rock bottom, something devastating
No, he
happens.
does not.
Right.
Like I said, I don't see him hitting rock bottom and then dying. No, this is the great part. I see him hitting the bottom, but I see him being able to stand up and he'll rebuild.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's good. It's good. It's good. And I know it's hard, but no, I don't see. When I said that, I would tell you, no, he's going to be dead. No, he's going to. That's why I'm saying this is all about you two. It's supposed to be what it is. His hitting, he's going to be thrown off. He'll be able to rebuild, and I see, and he'll deal with the demons of the father figure, something. But I do see him getting support. But I see you actually in a really great place with him, really great place and happy. And
So for the
and
time
justice will
being,
be have had. Justice will have
so
been
for
had.
the time being, I shouldn't contact him. I should just do my own thing, and if he wants to come forward, he can, but leave it alone.
I would leave it alone again for your benefit.
Okay.
Just because, like I said, it'll help you because and we both know how we can get sucked into this stuff very easy.
Right.
So,
Okay.
hope I helped you, Rose. But
Yes, you did, as always. Thank you so much.
be okay. It's okay.
Okay.
Oh, my daughter's in. Okay, thanks, Rose, for calling.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Oh, my daughter's here. Where is she? Oh, MS. Hi, Mariah. My daughter's here. She's in Thailand. Hi, honey. Mwah, mwah. In fact, stay till the end. I'm almost done because I'm playing that little video I did for you. Cat Stevens saying. With Wi-Fi is really bad right now, she says, so I can't actually see the video yet. But I hope my chat is working. It is. Hi, honey. I'll write in there. Hi, honey. Okay, I know we have one more.
Okay, so Miss MM,
Okay, yes, of course. Hello.
she's not in yet.
Sorry, thanks, Julie.
It's okay. There we go.
Hi, Miss M&M. Yeah, I love it. Who's this? Hi.
Hello.
Hi. What's your name? M&M?
It's Mari.
Mari. I thought
I didn't know that.
No, I thought Mari's phone number looked familiar. I'm going, Mari. I know Mari. My daughter's in there. Mari, I go, M&M, Mari. I go, Mari, I meant to text you back saying yes, but I guess you got that later.
Yeah.
Mari, what's up? What's going on? What's up?
Oh,
You're
same old, same old. Just calling to see if you had any updates.
Yeah, you and actually my client Rose are in. No, it's always a little bit different, but yours sometimes. And I know I'm hard on you too. Tell her I'm hard on you. I am.
Yes, you are.
I give you a kick in the ass. My daughter, I'm so happy she's in there. Okay, so
Hi, daughter.
my daughter Mariah, she's in Thailand. Yeah, she's like, yay, Mariah's came in. Anyway, I you okay? I know you text me, and I was out, and I did text you back. So what's happened since that time? What do you want?
Nothing.
Okay, nothing. There you go. Why don't you people, okay, why don't you people call each other instead of texting? So you did reach out to him. He did respond.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, he's been really good about responding.
Okay, wait a minute. He's been really good. So it's been going on more than I know. I thought it was just a one-time shot.
Well, I mean, yes, when I reach out to him, he responds very well, very quickly, but that's it. It doesn't go any further than unless I pursue more.
Well, wait a minute. Okay, so what I'm saying is, how many times have you texted and talked back and forth since I last spoken to you?
Oh, I haven't. No, not since we last spoke. I haven't done anything.
Okay. Okay, Maury, I still feel that it's really important that, first of all, that you be the one that's being more the male energy of reaching out, because he responds to you, okay? But I don't know. There it does look like there's something left in incompletion. I see again some new opportunities doing, but there's some legal repercussions around him that's incomplete. And I don't think that you two are going to be talking about that with your texting back and forth. But I am seeing that I see a lustful. Sorry, I'm saying it. I see a lustful something coming up soon. You know, in a good way. Did you did you talk about? Did you refer back to what happened the last time? Like all of a sudden nothing happened when you were talking about seeing him. Did that come up in any of your texting?
No, honestly, his season was over today. What today was last game of his season, so I was waiting until the season's over to see, because he can't. I mean, getting together before then is just really hard for both of us.
Okay. Well, I do see. Did you talk about maybe within the next month connecting? Because
no, we didn't talk. He just. I said, "When am I going to see you?" He said, "You tell me." And I was like, "I tried, but
he wants to leave.
Every time I try, I can't get away. He can't get away texting."
I know. So this is the problem. It's not a problem between you two and yes, he is the one. Yes, he is the one. I do see within a 4-week period. I do see you connecting. You know, Mari, if it has to be you to make it happen, that's okay. That's an ego thing. You can let it go. Really, you can. I mean, I know you can. For whatever reasons, I feel he's in a stable place. But on the other hand, I see a really great new thing that he's doing, but there's something lingering on from, I feel, like I said, I kept feeling that about his work, something going on. But I feel that it's okay that if you make things happen, he will certainly stand up to the plate for it. You know, sometimes it has to happen that way. And, you know, the only reason why you may not want to, because you're like, that's not fair. I know. Okay. He should be doing that. Yeah, I know. Okay. But let's say he's not really in a great position to do it. It doesn't mean anything other than he doesn't know how to ask for directions when he's lost. Either. You know what I mean? It's almost like it's okay. I just feel I do see within a 4-week period, I do see some very eventful physical activity. You know what I mean? Meaning you'd have to be seeing him for me to be seeing this.
Yeah, that would be required.
I do feel there's incompletion around all this stuff, but I do feel that there's something really great going on with him. But there now something has occurred from the. I'd love to find out any of this if you find out anything about any work situation. I don't know, but I am getting that you too. It's like when I tell, why don't you just stop this man? Well, Rose is a little bit different, but I do feel that it's Maury. It's time. And you asked me that question. I was in CVS when you did. I was cracking. Yes, I'm sure. And how could it not be?
He makes me crazy. But
that's what it's supposed to do. But you two have come this far, and But still, again, both, well, I can just say for you, you haven't done any changes yet either with your situation.
Yeah.
I
I'm
just
ready,
just
but
have to
I haven't
say,
pulled the trigger.
just saying.
I know.
I know it's hard.
Today was the day. I was like, okay, today's the day. I have to do something
I
different.
know,
But
and
I
I
just
know
haven't.
it's hard, but
Yeah.
that is something I think will really start shaking things into, I don't know, will open things up just by the act of doing what you need. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You know this,
Yeah.
Mari. I know you know all this stuff, but and I know it's difficult. But that's an incompletion right there in itself. But every every completion or incomplete, whatever, there's a new beginning that will come about. You two are still there, as bright as can be. I mean, bright. I mean, and I do see this heading in a very. I see you both taking control of this relationship as time goes on. Just listen, if you want to listen to this on archive again. Barbara was on earlier talking about intentions, like making things happen, blah blah blah. She came on and talked. It was great, and that might be helpful if you wanted to hear it. It was at the beginning of the show, and we were talking about things, and that has to do with relationships too. But I do feel that you need to
Right.
grab hold of yourself. You have the strength available to take care of some things, and it means even kind of help leading him as well as what you need to do on your own personal end of what you need to perhaps get going on.
Right.
Uncomfortable as it may
Right.
be, and I know in a perfect world, it'd be nice if you just would it be nice if the other person would just take care of it.
Yeah.
But
I think
it's
that.
not going to happen like that. I'm
I
sorry.
know.
I know. I remember that feeling. I wish that person just when I would have to deal with it, and it would be so much easier. But it didn't work out like that. Hell, but yeah, it didn't. So, Maury, no worries. Just
Okay.
put your ego aside, but also it may be a really good time for you. Like I said, you already know. Maybe take a baby step to take initiative. Maybe do some necessary or find out something about how the other part of what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that
I
makes
plan
sense.
to do that. Well, after Thanksgiving.
Oh
So
yeah, and I
we'll
know it
see.
is the holidays. It's not really, but that's a start. You know what I mean? I think it'll empower you even
Yeah.
more. And I do see you having a really great time socializing with a couple girlfriends around you. I see celebration, feeling really good. Like, yeah, I do. But I do feel that you need to grab hold of it. That you have the strength available to handle this right now, both. And I think sometimes you forget because things are moving in a direction that wasn't like last year or year before. It's different. It's better different. It's
Okay.
better, but scarier different, but better. Yeah, but I do see Baba Boom Baba being within 4 weeks. I do.
uh, and so I guess I just have to make it happen. I hate making it happen. It always happens, but I hate being the one
I know, but that's coming from
to
your
make it
ego.
happen.
That's coming from your ego, Maury, isn't it? Is
Yeah.
okay. Well, you know
Yes,
what?
if I'm honest, yes.
No, I'm glad you are, but you know what? That's false ego. That's what sense false ego. Release from it. Really, if I have it too, gosh. But if you did, come on. It doesn't mean anything other than you have some ego issues. It doesn't have anything to do with what he's going to. It just means that right now you may have to be the one to making the initiative. It doesn't mean anything that you're a fool or you shouldn't be having to. That's all a bunch of. That's where our ego can make a mess of it. It's just good to have our ego, but on the other hand, you know what a mess we make of our ego just runs us down into a place of no return. You know,
Right.
you know this stuff. You be telling your same client
Yeah,
patients.
I tell people this every day
I
in my
know,
office, but
I
I
know,
just can't do it for myself.
I know. And when I give readings, some people like you, I'm always going. I get a lot from it too. So because I have an issue with that myself. So I know it's hard, but I know you can do it. Okay.
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 You know,
Thanks.
I think my boost for confidence called Maureen.
You can do it, Maury. I know you can. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, hon.
Thank
I'll
you,
talk to you
Maury.
soon.
Thanks.
Okay. Bye.
I want to wish Shauna a happy birthday. Or Char Rose, Shauna, happy birthday. Julie, I hear you. Is my daughter still in here?
No, she left the.
Oh.
She's only going to be home for another hour, and so she's going to get on Skype with you.
Okay. Thanks. Char Rose, I want to sing you I don't sing very good. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. And I hope that I know I couldn't get to you tonight, but Thursday night, Shauna, come to, everybody else in here, come to, well, same people, Psychic Access, we're doing readings for 2 hours, straight hours. Nothing but readings at psychicaccess.com. I'm doing this little number. Psychicaccess.com on what is it, 7 to 9, 7, 8, 9, what is it? 8 to 10 Eastern Time, 5 to 7 Pacific Time. So I need to go, Show Rose. I need to talk to my daughter, and I'm really sorry, but I can't stay long. I can't stay longer, but let me see. I wanted to play this. This might make help you feel, but let me see. Julie, thanks for running the phone. I'm trying to find this thing that I had everything under control. And okay, here we go. All right. And my daughter, this is for my daughter, even though she's not in there. My daughter's, she's been crying. She cries and cries and cries. Never mind. Here it is. Can't find it. That's okay. Here it is. Okay, hopefully that'll work. And action.
Well, if you want to sing out, sing out. And if you want to be free, be free. 'Cause there's a million things to be, you know that there are. And if you want to live high, live high. And if you want to live low, live low. 'Cause there's a million ways to go, you know that there are. You can do what you want. The opportunity's on. And if you find a new way, you can do it today. You can make it all true. And you can make it undo. You see, it's easy. You only need to know. Well, if you want to say yes, say yes. And if you want to say
I do too. I love this video and the song.
but there's a million ways to go. You know that there are.
And there I am. I was young and beautiful.
And if you want to be me, be me. And if you want to be you, be you. 'Cause there's a million things to do. You know that there are. You can do what you want. The opportunity's on.
Yeah.
And if you find a new way, you can do it today. You can make it all true. And you can make it undo. You see, it's easy. You only need to know. Well, if you want to sing out, sing out. And if you want to be free, be free. 'Cause there's a million things to be, you know that there are.